think within the space of the year, I think it must have been between 70, 80, maybe even 100 grand spent. I betrayed the trust in these people that trusted me with the money. I generally feel that the world don't look at men as if they're having troubles. I lost myself, I lost my family, I lost everything. It's loss of all this is me not waking up to see my kids every day. Stood at a bridge and contemplated ending it all, thinking that they'd be better off without me.
Mike, thank you. Thank you for coming on to the channel. How are you feeling about sharing your story today?
Personally, I think for me it's a bit of a closure. When I was invited on, I thought, great idea to get my story across, and for people that have hurt, and for myself to review and see my unbiased,
You're getting something. You're getting it off your chest.
Yeah, I believe that the actions of gambling in the past have not only affected me but affected others, and I feel sometimes, even though that I've been given forgiveness and I'm still speaking to these people and who have hurt and let down, I don't think this. Obviously, we've had the conversations between ourselves.
Yeah.
But I don't think they've seen me actually talk about it, and I don't think they didn't get to understand, because obviously when you're explaining and you're apologising, you're not getting the scenario, the situations, the time, and the what's going on in the background, what forced me to go this way and that way. I just think through obviously this process I might be able to get quite a lot off my chest, not only help myself but help the others within my life as well.
It's interesting that you say about people that you've hurt, people that this has affected. Do you find that you've not been given an opportunity? Do you get parred off, or?
I don't get parred off. I just think sometimes people see the actions of a gambler, a drug addict, and this, that, and the others as selfish. But sometimes the mental state at the time it might not have been selfish. It's more. It could have been an escape. It could have been addiction. It could have been this. It could have been that. And I just think, through this process and talking about where I began, what escalated me to my highest peaks of gambling.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I want my kids to be able to see this. I have two kids, 1 7, 1 8. And when I say people that have hurt the most, even though I feel like I've hurt them the most, I've robbed them of me being there every day, because we're no longer with their mum.
Okay. Is that due to gambling, that you're not with the mum?
Yeah, due to gambling and a scenario that happened where I lost control and the truth came out through me losing control, which I regret to this day.
What do you want to get out of this chat?
Closure for my family.
For your family?
For my family, for me. That at the end of the day, what's happened has happened. I regret it, but what I want to show is that I've learned from it. That, I'll be honest, as a gambler, people ask me, have I quit? Now, there's two sides of the story to this, where I say yes to people that know the situation of the heights of how bad it got. I have quit that side.
Yeah.
I have learnt dramatically. Would I safely say I'm no longer a gambler? No. feel like it's always going to be there. It's, sometimes I have to go on a slot machine, put 2-3 quid in, call it feed the beast. I'd be lying to myself if I said that I've stopped completely. My biggest problems was when it was stress related.
Okay.
And communication. When I was stressed, I didn't communicate to my loved ones. So I use gambling as a stress relief, which defeats the object, because when it got messy,
Gets pretty stressful.
it got very stressful, to the point that it got uncontrollable, to the point that it creates depression, it creates anxieties, it creates frustration. I had family that thought that I was on drugs rather than it being a gambling problem, because they could see the change in me.
Oh, really?
In my demeanour.
That's interesting. Do you remember back in the bookies when there was no limit on the machines?
Yeah.
Because they said that, well, I think you could do like £100 spins,
Yeah.
and they said it was the crack cocaine of gambling. So just bang, 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 bang.
So you're feeding 20s like you're feeding pounds. I maxed out a couple of credit cards. I once got given a gift card off a casino, and it was for £5,000 to come back the week after.
A £5,000 credit?
Yeah.
Whoa, you must have been putting some money in there.
There was, yeah, well, like I said, the credit cards got
Well, how much did you max out the credit cards?
in the region between 18 and 21 of about £20,000.
Do you find that winning can actually be a bad thing?
Oh, definitely. I think if I'd lost £1,000, if I'd spent the first £1,000 and lost it all, I don't think I'd ever bet again. I think it'd put you off.
That was what your first gambling experience?
It was Friday, and we'd just been giving our wages in the morning. And at dinner time, Andy went, "Oh, come on, we'll go get some lunch." He went, "I'm just going to nip into the bookies." So I walked into the bookies with him, and he went on the machine and he said, "It's a powder goal. You press this. Go put a tenner in." And I put a tenner in, and then it was. I went, "What the fuck's happened?" And he went, "Oh, you've just won the jackpot, 100 quid. Well done." I'm like, "Oh shit, yeah." So
Is that you then hooked?
yeah, I took the money home. And I remember going home to my mum and giving her some board, and I even said to her, "Oh, I went into the buckets and dropped finger." Didn't realise that was the moment that it was like, I'm hooked. The week later, I'm putting 20 quid in. The week later after that, put 30, 40 quid in to win maybe 50, 60 quid. Coming off was getting a problem, and then it got to the point where I was spending my board money on thingy and lying to my mum that I hadn't been paid and stuff like that. So I was robbing from my mum, which when something that nobody ever wants to say. I remember my mum having this jar that she used to put £2 coins in.
Why is this jar not going up?
No, but my mum. What I didn't realise was my mum every Sunday, because she's bored, would empty the jar up and be like, "It's only 7 quid up," and she knows she's maybe put a fucking 10 coins in.
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
I didn't do it to hurt my mum.
Yeah, of course not.
No, I know it's like, but it's like it was there, and mentality's like, I'll put it back and then I'll even put some more. When it did win big, it'd be like, I'm like Don Corleone, and like, there you go, everybody's got 100 quid. And that's my mentality with money. It was just the money side. I enjoyed playing it. It was a stress relief, this, that and the other. And when I did win, everyone won. I remember once, it was my mate Stag Do, and we just gone in out of the blue. So I had a couple hundred quid in my pocket, and I turned that couple hundred quid into about 4 or 5 grand. And I remember going home with the 5 grand, and I just threw it at my wife while she's asleep, and she's woke up and gone, "Oh my God, what's all this?"
Now, did she know that came from gambling then?
She knew that I had a bit of a problem with gambling, but not the extreme.
Mm-hmm.
I hid very well from how big my gambling problem was.
How old were you when you had your first bet?
17.
17. How old are you now?
I'm 37.
So 20 years.
20 years.
20 years. What was your kind of vice of choice in terms of gambling? Was it the casino games? Was it the slots? Was it, obviously you said you didn't really have much interest in horses, dogs, sports betting, what lottery, what was your...
The big one that got me was the machines. Roulette machines and then roulette in casinos.
Okay.
My gambling got out of control probably just after we had my second child.
Do you reckon there's any reason why that was?
We seem to just had one of those years that every family gets where nothing goes right. We offered her mum and dad to move in with us because they were struggling with their house payments and this, that and the other. Basically the week after they moved in, the father-in-law, by the way, just had a stroke for about 14 months before.
Yeah.
The week that they moved in, we lost the dog that we had, and the day later the mother had a stroke, the mother-in-law. Now the idea of them moving out of their house to come to us was they reduced some of the equity of their house, give it to us, adapt ours, make it a bigger house.
Mm-hmm.
So after the mother-in-law had a stroke, I found out that my mum's terminally ill with cancer. So I've got all this going on. And to hit the nail on the coffin, my wife then starts experiencing really bad postnatal depression. I was then responsible to try and get the house adapted, maintain working, and look after the family.
Look after the missus who's not well.
Look after the missus. We've got to get this done. I've got to pay for that. I've got to pay for this. This is probably the most shameful part. Is the mother and father-in-law entrusted the money, like not all the money, but quite a big chunk of the house sale of the money to me to get the house adapted.
So you had this pot of money, basically.
Yeah, so I had this 50,000-60,000 pound in the pot.
Right.
So I'd be going, right, I'll take 200 quid out and then I'll have a little footer.
Yeah.
And then it'd be like, oh shit, I've lost that 200 quid. I'll see if I could get it back. And then sometimes you get it back and then you're storing this money in the house away from people.
Yeah.
To pay for the builders and stuff like that, you know. So if they ever asked, it was like, where's that money gone? It's like, oh, it's in the house, you know, waiting for all the builders have already had it. Where's the receipts? And it'd be like, oh, he's not giving me a receipt this time, but I'll ask him next time he comes. And
That's when you start getting there's like a web of lies and all that
yeah,
kind of stuff as well.
And to be honest with you, I didn't realise how much I'd spent until I'd left and they worked out with the bank balances and the trust that they give me that we're talking like 40,000 pound plus that I'd spent gambling. This is hard because these are the people that I love with all my heart, and I've put them in this position. The house has cost 35 grand to do up, but we're missing 40 type thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, you've clearly done this. What they didn't know was, on top of this, I got loans out and this, that and the other to subsidise payments for house and to carry on gambling. And so we're then talking like, and to make their lives better, ended up breaking down myself. I think I just had I did everything that was going on. I don't think I was the best person to had all this pressure.
Do you think that made you depressed?
Oh, most definitely.
So that
So
gambling was
my escape was my gambling.
gambling. Your missus has got this, her own struggles, and there's lots of illness around you. That makes you depressed. You're the breadwinner. You've got to keep the family together. So there's always reasons behind things like gambling and addiction. I think it's quite important for people to know that it's an escape from deeper things that are going on.
If I was to sum everything up, what was my downfall in life is communicating. I didn't communicate because I was more worried about other people at the time and what they were going through, that I didn't feel like my problems were sufficient enough to outweigh their problems. I generally feel that the world don't look at men as if they're having troubles and in the same perspective as, because I got quite bitter and angry at the time, because when I separated with my wife and this all came to light, I tried to explain that I was down. It's nothing personal. I weren't robbing your family because I want the money. I was trying to do good, and it turned nasty. In life, yourself, if you feel like a loser, you're gonna be stagnated in the same situation. You're gonna be doing the same. And at that time in my life, I was lost. I lost myself. I'd lost my family. I'd lost everything because I couldn't communicate that I was not happy. Putting on a brave face for your mum because you don't want to see her, that show her that what she's going through is affecting you deep to the core. Because nobody wants to lose their mother. I don't care who you are, even if you dislike your mother, you only get one, and they end up becoming the rock of your life.
Absolutely, I agree. What's the biggest single bet that you ever placed?
£4,000.
And what was that?
That was on a horse race. And I weren't very good at horses.
Did it come in?
It lost by a whisker. To be fair, this £4,000 race was probably my last serious bet. I'd won some money online, playing again a bit of roulette. Got up to about £2,000-3,000, and then for some reason I just decided I'll go on one of the Rainbow Riches games.
Oh, yeah. That little cheeky leprechaun.
Yeah, the little leprechaun.
Little bastard.
He is a little. Well, to be honest, I can't call him because he came through for me.
He sorted you out, did he? On that road?
I thought I was doing £2 a spin.
Yeah.
I was actually doing £50 a spin.
Fucking hell, no way.
Give me the 500 times the amount that you staked, which ended up being 25 grand.
Fucking hell. I've got a feeling this 26 grand doesn't go too far.
It doesn't go too far. So, as you can imagine, by this point, I'd been separated with Janine a year, 2 years, and I'd accumulated debt on the side. So I paid off like creditors, which materialised to about £13,000-14,000, I think it was at the time. I ended up putting, I think it was £3,000 or £4,000 in her mother's account and said, there's your bathroom money back. Because like I said, once I win something, my immediate thought is actually how can I make things up or cheer somebody up. They asked me where the money come from, and I just went, oh, we've won the lottery at work, syndicate, and I've got X, Y, Z each. I was trying to clear my debts, which obviously, as people know, interest on an Amigo loan is 50-60% a type thing.
Because you're getting the payday loans and all that.
Yeah. So I'm trying to wipe these off so I could better myself in the situation to help my family out. The house that we had, she recently sold it, and obviously I'm entitled to half.
Yeah.
I said to her that my half goes back to your mum, how she, what, mum and dad.
So you paid them back?
Well, yeah, in theory, we paid them back. Obviously, they've had to move out of a house and into a smaller house, which I'm very regretful for, because obviously the house that we moved from, the area is lovely and this, that and the other, and the house that they have downgraded, so that they have been affected. In one way, I have paid them back. In another way, it's still affected them, in the sense that they've had to move from a better area than what they were in. The biggest loss of all this is me not waking up to see my kids every day.
If she would take you back now, would you do it? Would you go back?
Most definitely, yeah. I'd go back into debt to have my family back. That's your biggest riches in life is always going to be your family.
Yeah. So when you put that £4,000 on that horse that's your biggest kind of stake, was it, on a single bet?
Mm.
When you put that £4,000 on, loses by its nose. How do you feel when you go to sleep at night? What's the feeling that? Can you sleep?
No. Sleep.
Sleep and gambling not best friends?
Not at all. Feel so guilty. Even going to bed, lying next to your loved one, knowing that you've done something wrong.
Have you been in some dark places with gambling?
Yeah, I think when I first separated with Janine, and then started contemplating the amount of money I owed. I've got these two beautiful kids at home. I stood at a bridge and contemplated ending it all, thinking that they'd be better off without me.
And what made you climb back over, turn back round? Was it then?
It was them, and then it was a memory of my cousin, because when I was about 16, my cousin committed suicide, and I remember the fundamental effect it had on the whole family. And even though I wouldn't call him selfish with this, that or the other, because I think it's obviously a different subject completely, but some people find it brave, some people find it selfish. I personally think it's a brave act to do.
I think that I think people can have, obviously everyone's going to have their opinion on something like suicide, of course. I don't think that anyone has the right to say that someone's a coward or selfish for committing suicide, because you're not in their fucking head.
No, I agree.
You're not feeling what they're feeling. I think that the set people that say someone who commits suicide selfish, I think that's just quite an ignorant comment, to be honest. I understand the pain of the person who's saying that, I get that, but it ain't selfish.
No, that wasn't a way that I wanted people to remember me by. So that I fucked up with my family and committed suicide just to get out of it. I thought a bit of it, just thought bite the bullet, work hard, justify. It takes 10 years, takes 20 years. At least your kids are gonna know that you've got to be around for.
What I also think as well about gambling is that it's very subconsciously put into your mind from quite a young age. So you think when you go to Blackpool or whatever,
The penny machines.
gambling, pogs.
How many slammers, how many pogs you've lost.
Yeah, do you know what, Nev? That is gambling, that, isn't it?
Yeah, because you're going out buying the pogs. Because 'Cause I remember when I was younger, you go out and you're like, I'm going to get the fucking aluminium slab and nobody's taking mine this
the
time.
fucking Keeny with the jagged edges and all that on it.
And
yeah. Boom. You can't watch a sport anymore without seeing casino, bookmakers, whatever it may be. When you see that, when you're watching sport, does that get the cogs turning again? Does it make you want to go again? Does it give you an itch?
It can do. In terms of the advertising, yeah, I do think that they're very cunning and putting it in between shots and stuff like that.
I've watching a game of football and getting to half time, and then before the first advert will go something along the lines of like 5-1 Rashford next goal scorer.
Yeah.
There's a massive boom now online with gambling streamers, isn't there? Won't name any because I don't want to promote any of them. It's promoting gambling to people, isn't it?
Yeah, so they're basically, then he's getting given rewards to be able to reward other people to sign up to these big sites like your Stake and your robots or whatnot. You can see your Paddy Palace, your Las Vegas, whatever site it is.
Use my promo code.
Yeah, we'll give you £200.
Yeah. People that have been affected by your gambling, parents or in-laws, children, the ex-wife, if they watch this, is there anything that you'd like to say directly to them? Sorry,
and the fact that I'm just going to continue to try and make you proud in the way that you wanted me to be as a husband. Hope I could be that in a father, a better father than a husband, and hope that I can make lives easier and better in the future. And we'll keep moving forward instead of looking backwards and regretting the mistakes that we've made. But yeah, and just thank you for the forgiveness. I think without the forgiveness, I don't think I'd be able to be sat there and telling the story. The slogan, when it stops becoming fun, stop.
When the fun stops, stop.
Yeah, and it is a really good slogan. But I think sometimes you maybe, for me, I think onus on the casinos, the bookmakers. If you see someone coming in every day, maybe just ask them, are they okay? Can they afford? Because it's their duty. I think it's their duty of care as much as anybody else's to maintain that safety level for the people that they're providing the service.
Is it in the bookies' interest to train staff to say, come on, walk away? I would assume that they want people sat there for as long as possible. What kind of place are you in now? Like mentally? Are you...
Tons better place.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, massively.
Brilliant.
Yeah. People say, how are you doing on your gambling? I have to be honest and say, I'm going to be a gambler for life. I don't want to lie to anyone anymore. But am I controlling it? Yes, I am.
Yeah.
It generally hurts me losing 20 quid now.
That's good though.
But
it's good that.
But
not that you lose it, but it's good that you get that feeling.
Yeah. And obviously a lot of my money instantly goes on doing the activities with the kids. So,
yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. I think for most people, I feel sorry for gamblers that haven't got that extra advice that is more important than doing the gambling itself.
Do you feel better for getting this out there today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a bit of a closed door chapter, that it's not going to be the thing that defines me from now on. It's like the thing that I've needed to do for a while.
Come at the right time then?
It's come at the right time. When we got approached to ask to do it, it was like, yeah, and it's just come at the right time.
It's all kind of fitted
Yeah.
together. I just want to say, I really appreciate you coming onto the channel to pour your heart out, be totally honest and frank. You took ownership of everything. Like you've, in a good way, like surprised me with how you just kind of let it all out. Obviously, there's a lot of things that you can't change about the past and stuff, and X amount of money has gone down the gutter. Relationships have suffered. Clearly, a decent guy. I think everyone that's watching this will get a warming towards you. And like I said, your story is without doubt gonna save someone else out there from either going down the route / road or jumping off the road. And I'm very, very glad that you didn't decide to go off that bridge. I'm very glad that you turned back round again. You got those 2 kids to live for, and yeah, I really appreciate your honesty and thank you very much, and I wish you good luck going forward.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks very much.
Nice one, mate.